Moby Dick, Herman Melville. Chapter 1. The Spouter Inn. Call me Ishmael. By training, I am a country school master, but my heart often longs for waves and water. Whenever I find myself growing gloomy and short-tempered, I must take to the sea. I ship as a sailor. Being ordered about takes some getting used to, but I do it. They pay me, and I very much like to be paid. Though I had always sailed on merchant ships, I decided to sign on a whaler for a new adventure. So, I stuffed a shirt or two into my carpet bag and headed for Massachusetts. I arrived in New Bedford on a Saturday night, too late to catch the ferry to Nantucket. I wanted a cheap place to stay, and I knew the cheapest lodging would lie in the deepest gloom. Blocks of blackness lined the streets. Once or twice, I saw a candle move through the night like a ghost in a tomb. Finally, I came to a crooked building where a sign swung on rusty chains. It read, "The Spouter Inn. Peter Coffin." Lodging with a man named Coffin must surely be cheap, I thought. I entered the public room and looked around. Whaling lances and harpoons hung on the smoke-stained walls. On the far side, the bar was made from arched bone of a whale's jaw. I told the landlord I wanted a room. He said they were full. But, he added, if you don't mind sharing, there's a room to bunk in with a harpooner staying here. Since I had no desire to wander in the cold night, I agreed. I ate my meal with other shivering boarders in a room with no fire. We lingered over our scalding tea, warming our frozen fingers on the mugs. "Landlord," I whispered as the man passed. "Which one is the harpooner?" "Oh, none of these," he said, grinning. The harpooner is a dark chap, and he eats nothing but rare steak. Groups of rowdy seamen came and went, but the harpooner was never among them. Finally, I called to the landlord. "What sort of chap keeps such late hours at this harpooner?" "He's not normally so late," the landlord said. "It must be that he couldn't sell his head." "Do you mean to say that this harpooner is actually out peddling his head around town?" The landlord nodded. I told him not to. The market's flooded. At this, I lost my temper. "I come to your house and want a bed. You tell me you'll give me half a bed, but our harpooner fills the other half. Now he's out selling his head. Do you think I would sleep with a madman or give money to a trickster?" "Be easy," the landlord said calmly. "The harpooner just returned from the South Seas. He brought up a lot of shrunken heads from New Zealand." Why had he not spoken plainly before? The landlord chuckled. The harpooner's never been this late. He must have found other lodgings. Let me show you the bed. I followed him into another freezing room with a huge bed. The landlord placed his candle on the old sea chest that served as a table. Then he bid me good night and left. A tall harpoon leaned against one wall with a seaman's bag close by. I wasted no more time looking around and tumbled into bed. I had drifted into a light doze when I heard heavy footfalls in the passage. A glimmer of light came from under the door. The harpooner. I lay perfectly still. The stranger came into the room with a candle in one hand and a shrunken head in the other. I had just begun to breathe again when the man pulled off his hat. He was bald, with only a small knot of hair twisted up on his forehead. The skin of his bald head glowed purplish. Finally, he turned to face me in the glow of the candle. I thought for a moment that the man had been badly beaten because his face was so marked. Then I realized the marks were tattoos. If he had not been standing between me and the door, I would have run. I considered climbing out the window as the harpooner undressed for bed. Suddenly, he lurched towards the bed with a tomahawk in his hand. "Speak," he demanded. "Are you a devil here to kill me in the night? I'll kill you first." "Help!" I shrieked. "Landlord, save me!" "Who are you?" the harpooner demanded again, waving the tomahawk around. At that moment, the landlord burst into the room. I scrambled from the bed and ran to him. "Don't be afraid," he said. "Queequeg here won't hurt you." "Look at him," I shouted. He threatened me with that tomahawk. What if he made those shrunken heads and wanted mine next? This brought a roar of laughter from the landlord. "That's a pipe," he said. "Queequeg likes a bit of smoke before bed, is all." He turned to Queequeg. "He's rented half the bed, you understand? You came in too late for me to warn you." "I understand," Queequeg said. I straightened. "Well, tell him to stash his tomahawk, or pipe, or whatever. I don't want a man smoking in bed with me." Queequeg agreed. I bade the landlord good night, climbed in bed, and tumbled into a restful sleep.